But I told T.I. he should have kicked that boy when last year. If T.I. would have kicked that boy last year, that boy wouldn't have had to jack him up today.
You thought you'd seen it all online? Think again. Imagine getting dragged so hard in public that even memes feel sorry for you. Well, that's exactly what happened to King Harris. And let's just say, Charleston White wasn't holding back. Social media is still buzzing, and if you blinked, you missed it, because this is the kind of humiliation that goes viral before you even finish your morning coffee. But how did we get here? Why is King Harris suddenly the laughingstock of the internet? And why is Charleston White popping off like he just won the internet's most savage clapback award? And yes, 50 Cent's name is somehow tangled in this chaos. Did someone overstep? Did someone throw shade so hard it registered on the Richter scale? Today, we're diving deep into the scandal that's got fans, celebrities, and keyboard warriors in full meltdown mode. From leaked DMs to viral posts, this story has everything: humiliation, drama, and a side of chaos that only the internet can deliver. Buckle up, because by the end of this, you might just reconsider your life choices, or at least your Twitter notifications. This is the story of King Harris getting absolutely roasted by Charleston White, and the fallout that's shaking the 50 Cent universe. And trust me, you don't want to miss a single second. If you think social media isn't savage, you clearly haven't been paying attention to King Harris lately. Because right now, the man is trending for all the wrong reasons. And let me tell you, it's not a small slip-up. No, this is a full-on, triple espresso, internet meltdown situation. It started innocently enough, or at least that's what King Harris would have you believe. A comment here, a reaction there, a subtle clapback that somehow escalated into Charleston White going nuclear. And before anyone could even fact-check, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok exploded, all with the same unified message: King Harris just got smoked. But let's rewind a little. For those living under a rock, Charleston White isn't some random internet troll. The man has a reputation for dissecting, roasting, and exposing celebrities with a precision that would make a surgeon jealous. He's got receipts for days, he's got sources who claim to know everything, and he's not afraid to drag your name through the mud if he senses weakness. And King Harris, bless him, apparently gave him that opening. It all started when 50 Cent, yes, the 50 Cent, became the unintended center of this latest mess. Now, we all know 50's social media game is legendary. He pokes, he prods, he stirs drama for fun. But what nobody expected was that King Harris would somehow entangle himself in this web. Some say it was a misquoted DM, others say it was a poorly timed video clip. Whatever the spark, it ignited a wildfire that Charleston White didn't just fan. He exploded it with flamethrower energy. Anonymous sources, who of course must remain unnamed for obvious reasons, claim that King Harris tried to play the "I didn't mean it" card immediately after the backlash started. But by then, the internet had already formed a jury. Memes circulated faster than emergency alerts. Late-night shows started referencing it, and even low-tier gossip accounts suddenly became breaking news outlets overnight. People were dissecting his words, his reactions, even the way he typed his apology. Everything became evidence in the court of public opinion. Charleston White, on the other hand, saw this as a golden opportunity. Multiple insiders suggest he spent hours combing through King Harris's social media history, highlighting every questionable post, every awkward attempt at humor, and every time Harris had tried to flex online and failed spectacularly. One particularly spicy clip allegedly showed Harris responding to a fan with what was described as a comically misplaced threat, which of course White turned into a full-blown exposé on character and credibility. People were shook. And yes, screenshots were circulating like wildfire, each one adding layers to the humiliation. And it didn't stop there. The narrative grew richer, more complex, and more humiliating by the hour. Fake investigative reports started appearing, claiming to reveal previously unknown details about Harris's financial habits, questionable associations, and even a supposed behind-the-scenes feud with other industry figures. The reports, while completely unverified, were crafted so cleverly that they felt believable. Charleston White didn't even have to invent much. The internet filled in the gaps for him. Suddenly, Harris wasn't just being roasted. He was being analyzed, dissected, and critiqued at a level usually reserved for scandalous political exposés. The public reaction was, well, chaotic. Some were outraged on Harris's behalf, insisting he didn't deserve this level of public shaming. Others? They doubled down on the mockery, creating elaborate memes that portrayed Harris as everything from a deluded influencer to a man trapped in a permanent Vine-era clip. And somewhere in the background, 50 Cent's name kept surfacing, not because he was actively involved, but because the initial spark somehow tied back to him, giving the scandal that extra layer of celebrity gravity. Social media analysts, who of course love a good drama, pointed out that this kind of humiliation is rare. Normally, celebrity clapbacks exist in isolation, but here we had a perfect storm, a controversial figure, a relentless exposer, and a global internet audience ready to magnify every misstep. The result? King Harris trending for days straight, algorithms eating up every clip, every post, every reaction like it was the final season of a hit reality show. Insiders close to Harris allegedly tried damage control. Sources claim he made frantic calls to friends and PR teams, attempting to spin the narrative, but it was too late. The content was already viral, shared across forums, shared in group chats, even appearing on platforms that had nothing to do with hip-hop or celebrity news. People who didn't even know who King Harris was were now commenting on his supposed lack of awareness and overblown ego. Meanwhile, Charleston White was reportedly enjoying every second of it. Not just for the attention, though that was certainly a bonus, but because this wasn't just about making fun of someone. According to our fake investigative findings, White was systematically breaking down Harris's public persona, pointing out inconsistencies, amplifying contradictions, and turning minor social media errors into evidence of a larger pattern of behavior. Every post Harris made became fodder. Every interview he did, no matter how carefully scripted, was scrutinized for hidden meaning. It was ruthless, meticulous, and somehow hypnotically entertaining to watch. The story even caught mainstream outlets' attention. Fake news channels, parody blogs, and entertainment investigation networks all jumped on the story, spinning it as an epic fall from grace. One insider joked that Harris was the perfect storm of arrogance and misjudgment, and the internet agreed. Every celebrity commentary page ran with the narrative, often exaggerating details for clicks. The effect? Harris's humiliation became not just viral, but unavoidable. And then there's the human element. Friends, colleagues, and even casual followers reportedly started questioning Harris's judgment, his social awareness, and his understanding of internet culture. What might have been a minor misunderstanding in another era became a full-blown character assassination in 2026 social media climate. People weren't just laughing at Harris. They were studying him, cataloging mistakes like a case study in what not to do online. It was clear. This wasn't just a simple feud. This was a full-blown, multi-layered scandal with viral potential that could rival the most infamous celebrity social media meltdowns. And make no mistake, it had everything. Intrigue, humiliation, drama, and the faintest whiff of celebrity endorsement, or in this case, celebrity tangling, courtesy of 50 Cent. So as the dust settled on the initial viral waves, one thing became painfully obvious. King Harris was humiliated publicly, dissected expertly, and memed mercilessly. And Charleston White? He was the maestro, the orchestrator, the kind of figure who makes you wonder if social media chaos is his art form. But this is just the beginning. The story is far from over, and what comes next? Let's just say the fallout promises even more shocking revelations, secret interactions, and yes, a social media storm that refuses to die down. But if you thought this was intense, wait until you hear what leaked sources, inside scoops, and public reactions reveal next. The scandal is escalating, the internet is raging, and the consequences are starting to take shape. By now, the internet had fully digested the spectacle of King Harris's public humiliation, but here's the thing. This is where the story stops being just embarrassing and starts being messy, juicy, and utterly chaotic. Because while the memes and jokes were circulating, Charleston White wasn't just sitting back sipping tea. No, he went full investigative mode, pulling together what insiders are calling a complete exposé on Harris's recent history, social media missteps, questionable interactions, and yes, allegedly shady industry dealings. Sources who claim to be close to the situation insist that White had assembled a digital dossier. Every deleted post, every obscure DM, every awkward video clip where Harris tried to flex but failed spectacularly was cataloged. One so-called insider told us, again, completely off the record, of course, that some of the files included screenshots from years ago, where Harris supposedly argued with other content creators over copyright disputes and even threatened to expose them online. It's the kind of material that makes the internet go wild, simultaneously petty, dramatic, and perfect for public humiliation. And it wasn't just the history. Charleston White allegedly obtained, through means we cannot confirm, what he described as inside messages and private discussions, where Harris supposedly complained about 50 Cent behind his back, questioned his credibility, and even attempted to manipulate mutual associates for favors. Whether these messages are 100% real, that's irrelevant. On the internet, perception is king. And right now, the perception was that Harris was scheming, insecure, and frankly, hilariously out of his league. The public reaction was immediate, explosive, and merciless. Hashtags like hashtag King Humiliated and hashtag Charleston Exposes started trending within hours, and every clip, every tweet, every meme was being shared across platforms. People weren't just commenting, they were theorizing. Was this Harris's plan all along? One fan asked, half serious, half mocking. Or did he just underestimate Charleston White's detective skills? Another wrote, 50 Cent didn't even need to be involved, and somehow Harris still found a way to mess it up. Meanwhile, fake investigative reports began appearing on niche entertainment network pages, claiming that Harris's alleged mismanagement extended beyond social media. One report, which read like a Hollywood thriller disguised as news, suggested Harris had been using his platform to inflate personal projects and funnel money toward side hustles that, let's just say, weren't exactly transparent. Allegedly, there were lavish spending habits, questionable payments to unnamed consultants, and even rumors of minor legal disputes over brand deals gone wrong. Again, none of this is verified, but it was written with such conviction that the audience ate it up like popcorn at a summer blockbuster. And Charleston White, oh, he didn't just stop at screenshots and leaks. According to sources, he created a series of reaction videos dissecting every public statement Harris had ever made about 50 Cent. One clip in particular reportedly highlighted Harris laughing at a meme about 50 Cent, then immediately backtracking when called out. The analysis, dripping with sarcasm and precision, framed Harris as someone desperate to appear relevant while constantly misreading his audience. The clips were described by insiders as uncomfortably brutal but hypnotically satisfying, the kind of content that keeps people glued to screens for hours. Even other celebrities got involved, whether they wanted to or not. Anonymous tips from those claiming industry connections suggested that some figures quietly supported White's takedown, not out of malice, but because Harris had a habit of overstepping boundaries in collaborations, negotiations, and social media feuds. One alleged source joked that Harris treats digital conversations like a boxing ring, except he never wins. Whether true or exaggerated, the narrative painted Harris as a cautionary tale, a man whose online confidence could not withstand even a fraction of scrutiny. The scandal's reach extended beyond entertainment corners of the internet. Fake law and crime commentary networks reported on Harris's supposed online threats as if they were criminal investigations, implying he might have skirted legal boundaries in the way he communicated about 50 Cent. Headlines screamed about social media intimidation and celebrity feuds escalating to dangerous levels, which, in context, were overblown, but sensationalism sells. By the time the public had digested all this, Harris's credibility was being questioned in ways that went far beyond memes and jokes. Adding to the chaos were the so-called expert analyses posted across fake investigative blogs. These posts claim to have reviewed Harris's entire social media activity using advanced digital tools, allegedly uncovering patterns of manipulation, self-aggrandizement, and strategic interactions with other celebrities. Quotes from these analyses, whether fabricated or inspired by real digital behavior, were dramatic and damning. King Harris operates like a social media chessboard, except every move is predictable and every pawn is himself. Lines like that spread like wildfire because people love a good takedown wrapped in intellectual-looking commentary. And then came the fan reactions, which were perhaps the most devastating. Live threads of comments, tweets, and TikTok responses revealed that Harris's image was being shredded in real time. Some fans mocked his wardrobe choices in videos. Others analyzed the tone of his voice in interviews, claiming it betrayed panic. Even casual viewers with no prior knowledge of Harris's work chimed in, offering their hot takes. He literally walked into the storm with a selfie stick. One comment read, "Charleston White didn't humiliate him, the internet did." And in many ways, that was the point. The humiliation was so public, so viral, and so persistent that Harris's reputation took on a life of its own, independent of reality. Meanwhile, 50 Cent remained largely uninvolved, mostly amused, some say, but his indirect presence loomed over every post, meme, and reaction video. Every misstep Harris made seemed to reflect back on him. The scandal had fully matured. The humiliation wasn't a one-time viral moment anymore. It had evolved into a full-blown narrative, dissected across platforms, analyzed by fake experts, and debated by thousands of fans and haters alike. Charleston White's investigation had not only humiliated Harris, but had also created an ecosystem of engagement, feeding on every new reaction, every fresh clip, every meme remixed from the previous one. The drama was now self-sustaining. And as the internet chewed through this story, one fact became painfully clear. This was no ordinary celebrity feud. This was a digital spectacle, a viral masterclass, and a cautionary tale all rolled into one. King Harris wasn't just humiliated. He was dissected, critiqued, and analyzed at a level that blurred the line between comedy, journalism, and social media theater. And for Charleston White, the stage was set for the next act. Even bigger revelations, shocking confrontations, and yes, even more public embarrassment. The situation had fully escalated beyond jokes and memes. King Harris's humiliation had crossed into territory some are calling entertainment apocalypse, a spectacle so intense that social media platforms seemed to vibrate with anticipation every time he posted. Charleston White, having masterfully orchestrated this public takedown, now had the upper hand, controlling the narrative with precision. But here's where the drama intensifies. Once you humiliate someone in public this thoroughly, the consequences aren't just digital. They spill over into reputation, partnerships, and yes, even hypothetical legal scenarios. Industry insiders, again, completely anonymous and trusted, allegedly told us that Harris's brand deals were on thin ice. Sponsors, fearful of being associated with someone labeled social media unstable or unreliable, were reportedly reconsidering contracts. The whispers claim that one deal in particular, worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, was put on hold pending Harris's response to the Charleston White drama. If true, or if public perception continues to spiral, this could mean serious financial repercussions. And remember, in the celebrity world, perception often trumps reality. Leaked reports, supposedly circulating in closed entertainment circles, suggested that Harris's legal team was quietly investigating whether Charleston White's investigation crossed any lines. Allegedly, there were discussions about potential defamation claims, social media harassment, and even intentional infliction of emotional distress. Now, whether these claims hold any weight is debatable, but the fact that they exist has fueled another layer of drama. Fans speculate endlessly. Will Harris sue? Will Charleston fight back? Or will this turn into a full-blown courtroom showdown? The suspense alone has people glued to their screens. Meanwhile, public outrage, or at the very least, public obsession, continued to escalate. Memes and reaction videos weren't just circulating. They were becoming almost ritualistic in their intensity. Fans created countdown threads, daily recaps, and analysis charts showing Harris's humiliation trajectory over the last 72 hours. Some even tried to gamify the situation, awarding points for each cringeworthy moment captured. One viral post read, "King Harris just can't catch a break. Every move he makes is another meme in the making." Charleston White is the king of digital takedowns. And just like that, the narrative had solidified. Harris wasn't just embarrassed, he was officially part of internet folklore. The ripple effect reached other influencers and minor celebrities, too. According to insiders, several content creators who had previously collaborated with Harris were reconsidering their partnerships. One alleged source said, "People don't want to be tied to someone who might implode at any moment. It's not just about credibility, it's about survival in the digital world." The fear was palpable. Suddenly, Harris's professional network seemed to contract, as alliances that once appeared solid now wavered under the pressure of public scrutiny. And then came the hypothetical governmental angle, because no viral scandal is complete without a dash of imagined legality. Fake entertainment law networks and social media watchdogs speculated that Harris's behavior, especially his interactions surrounding 50 Cent commentary, could fall under digital harassment or cyber defamation in a modern celebrity context. Headlines screamed things like, "Celebrity feud escalates. Could social media bullying lead to legal consequences?" Of course, actual charges were improbable, but the mere suggestion added fuel to the fire, ensuring even casual viewers tuned in for updates. Even Harris's personal life came under scrutiny. Anonymous sources claimed that friends and associates were embarrassed by the viral fallout, suggesting Harris had been blindsided by the magnitude of the public's reaction. Allegedly, family members were trying to intervene, urging him to lay low, delete posts, or issue statements, but Harris, according to insiders, was determined to reclaim the narrative. And therein lies the classic problem. The more you resist, the more the public eats up every new misstep, amplifying humiliation at a frightening speed. Meanwhile, Charleston White wasn't just content to sit back. Fake sources indicate he was planning follow-up commentary, teasing even more shocking revelations about Harris's online behavior, brand collaborations, and possible behind-the-scenes drama with other celebrities. Fans, desperate for updates, speculated about the next video. Would it include leaked private messages? Would it highlight more cringeworthy statements? Or would it reveal something truly scandalous, beyond the memes and viral clips already circulating? The anticipation alone kept people checking notifications obsessively. The financial consequences, while largely speculative, also became a talking point. Online reports suggested that Harris's social media revenue streams could take a hit. Content monetization, brand deals, sponsored posts, all of these were allegedly at risk because the public narrative had shifted from rising influencer to social media cautionary tale. One post described it dramatically. Every view, every click, every comment is now a double-edged sword. Harris's online empire teeters on the brink of collapse. Whether true or exaggerated, the line between reality and digital myth was now irreversibly blurred. Meanwhile, Charleston White's followers began mobilizing, creating fan pages, commentary threads, and even unofficial Harris accountability accounts. Every new clip or post by Harris was analyzed, critiqued, and memed. People debated, joked, and theorized endlessly, creating a digital ecosystem where the drama sustained itself. Harris's online persona had effectively been transformed into a public spectacle, one in which humiliation, curiosity, and entertainment were inextricably intertwined. By now, the cultural impact was undeniable. Social media historians, or let's call them entertainment anthropologists, might someday point to this feud as an example of the power of viral digital culture. One insider post summarized it best: "It's no longer about who's right or wrong. It's about who controls the narrative, who makes the public laugh, and who can turn every misstep into a moment of digital history." Harris, intentionally or not, had become a case study in what happens when social media, celebrity ego, and public scrutiny collide. And the ultimate irony? While Harris's reputation teetered, Charleston White's credibility skyrocketed. By carefully curating content, teasing revelations, and maintaining just enough mystique, he had positioned himself as both commentator and puppeteer, orchestrating a narrative that had millions watching, tweeting, and reacting around the clock. In essence, he didn't just humiliate Harris, he created a cultural phenomenon, a viral event, and a cautionary tale that anyone in the social media sphere could study for years to come. As the dust settled, or at least paused temporarily, the world was left with several open questions. How will Harris recover? Will he attempt a dramatic comeback, or fade quietly into irrelevance? Could Charleston White escalate the scandal even further? And most importantly, what does this mean for the intersection of celebrity, social media, and public accountability in a world where every comment, post, and reaction can be weaponized? One thing is crystal clear. This story isn't over. Not by a long shot. Every clip, meme, and reaction feeds into a cycle that refuses to end. And whether you're a fan, a critic, or just someone scrolling through your feed at 2 a.m., you're part of the narrative now. You're witnessing what happens when online personas collide with digital investigation, when entertainment meets scandal, and when public humiliation becomes a spectacle. So buckle up. Because while King Harris may have been humiliated over 50 Cent drama today, the fallout will echo far beyond the tweets, memes, and reaction videos. And Charleston White? Well, he's only just getting started. So now that you've seen it all, the humiliation, the memes, the leaked reports, and the social media apocalypse, what do you think is next for King Harris? Will he make a daring comeback, or is this the digital moment where his career gets permanently memed into history? And Charleston White, what's he planning next? Could there be even bigger revelations lurking just around the corner, ready to blow up timelines and make headlines across TMZ, ABC, or even BBC?